Hello, I'm Ben Burtt.
And I'm Craig Barron. Welcome to Secrets of the Hollywood Archives.
As filmmakers, we've witnessed a tidal wave of technological advancements over the years, transforming our understanding of how we make movies today from how movies were made in the past.
There's always a danger that history could be washed away and forgotten if classic movies aren't talked about and preserved.
So let's delve into one of our favorites, the swashbuckling epic The Adventures of Robin Hood from 1938, directed by Michael Curtiz and William Keighley.
The Warner Brothers spared no expense in producing this extravagant adventure. Photographed in glorious Technicolor and budgeted at $2 million, it was the most expensive film the studio had made to date. This is the Technicolor 3-strip camera, revolutionary for its time as it was the only system capable of capturing vibrant, full-color motion pictures.
The secret of the Technicolor camera lies in its ingenious design. It's essentially 3 cameras inside one, simultaneously exposing 3 separate rolls of black and white film through color filters.
And like magic, when the 3 red, green, and blue images overlap and combine, the scene transitions into full-color photography.
One drawback of Technicolor was the need to have an enormous amount of hot, bright light to get a proper exposure of the film. Actors were blinded by the intense illumination and often were forced to rest their eyes between takes.
While Technicolor required 3 rolls of film running simultaneously to capture color, there was yet another roll of film needed to record sound.
They used a clever device called an optical recorder.
Speed. Action.
It was a specialized camera that photographed the sound vibrations coming from the microphone on the set. Printed as a pattern of light and dark along the edge of the film, this camera made an audio recording for playback and later, editing.
Let's talk about casting and pre-production. In 1935, Warner Brothers announced they were going into production on The Adventures of Robin Hood. They planned to cast their biggest star, a box office sensation and leading man, none other than Jimmy Cagney.
The idea to cast Cagney as Robin Hood was not so far-fetched because of his previous role in 1935's A Midsummer Night's Dream, where he played a roguish bandit character living in the magic forest.
Cagney was also a member of the Studio Archery Club, but that was as far as his connection to Robin Hood went.
The studio decided to capitalize on Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland's rising stardom after their success in Captain Blood and The Charge of the Light Brigade, casting them in the new Technicolor adventure, alongside villains Basil Rathbone and Claude Rains.
With the cast in place, production began in earnest. Filmmaking is the art of crafting illusions to tell a story that includes acting, set design, lighting, stunts, costumes, makeup, and special effects. The Adventures of Robin Hood was poised to excel in all these cinematic crafts, bringing the legendary outlaw's world to life on the big screen.
Sets were initially built as detailed models to efficiently plan camera angles. Carl Jules Vale, shown here, won an Oscar for Best Art Direction for his amazing work on the picture. Medieval walls and gates were constructed on the Warner Brothers lot as partial structures designed to allow the action of people and horses to take place against a stone backdrop.
The establishing shots, showing the entire castle, would be completed by the Warner Brothers matte department, supervised by Paul Deflinson, in charge of creating the Nottingham Castle as seen in the film. The technique of creating matte paintings begins on location. During filming, a custom cutout stencil called a matte is placed in front of the camera lens to mask out specific areas for later replacement with painted imagery. Then, at the studio matte department, the Technicolor camera is set up to photograph a detailed 3-foot wide painting created to match the original scene. This painted element is then exposed into the live-action footage, merging reality with artistic illusion.
Howard Hill, a world-class archer, never missed his mark. He skillfully shot arrows at stuntmen wearing steel plates covered in balsa wood. These brave performers had to trust Hill's accuracy completely. It's an impressive stunt.
Equally important is the frightening sound effect the arrows would make.
Hill used coarse turkey feathers cut to have distinctive pointed tips. These uniquely shaped feathers created a turbulence in flight that generated a musical tone. This sound was then amplified, magnifying the power and deadly nature of Robin's arrows.
Welcome to Sherwood, my lady.
To bring Robin Hood's Sherwood Forest to life, the production traveled to Bidwell Park in Chico, California, 350 miles north of Los Angeles. This location, with its ancient oaks and abundant wildlife, provided the perfect backdrop.
The Adventures of Robin Hood had two great directors, William Keighley and Michael Curtiz.
Executive producer Hal Wallace replaced director Keighley with Michael Curtiz due to concerns over Keighley's slow pace on location. While accounts vary, the studio likely worried about budget overruns and desired a different approach for the remaining action sequences. Here's the precise moment when Curtiz took over directing from Keighley, now back from Chico at the Warner Brothers Studios. On the left, Keighley directs Robin and Marion's love scene in her chambers. On the right, Curtiz takes over the next day, directing a continuation of the same scene outside Marion's window.
Hardly an inspiring sight for such pretty eyes as yours, I'm sure.
Keighley excelled in directing more than half of the film, skillfully guiding Errol Flynn's performance.
I'm sorry to have to show you that. But once these poor people were all happy and contented.
And bringing the beloved Robin Hood characters, Little John, Friar Tuck, and Will Scarlet to life.
Robin, I've just got word of... It's all right, he's one of us.
One of us? He looks like three of us.
His work effectively established the storybook quality of these legendary figures, setting the tone for the entire film.
You just don't understand, do you?
I'm sorry. I do begin to see a little now.
If you do, then that's reward enough.
Marion's change of heart was beautifully directed by Keighley and is one of the most important scenes in the picture.
But my favorite scene is the sword fight, one of the best ever filmed.
We've stopped time here so we could take a look at the famous sword fight scene choreographed by fencing master Fred Cavins.
Rathbone was an excellent swordsman, but did you know he was also an avid 16mm cinephile and documentarian?
I didn't. Are we going to watch some home movies?
Exactly. Rathbone brought his 16mm camera to the set, handed it off to a crew member who shot some very rare behind-the-scenes footage of the sword fight. The fight routine would be broken down into specific swordplay action and memorized by Flynn and Rathbone. Director Curtiz would position the Technicolor camera to capture the best angle during each short sequence of the fight.
This footage, revealed for the first time, shows Flynn and Rathbone performing brief combat sequences, each under 10 seconds. By segmenting the fight, Curtiz helped the actors maintain high energy throughout the scene.
The actors performed many of their own stunts. A common practice was to position a mattress to cushion any falls during the action scenes.
You can see if Flynn or Rathbone would misstep or miss a cue, Curtiz would call cut. They would then start again, repeating the routine again and again until Curtiz was satisfied.
Here we go again. And this time, Basil trips. You can really see how hard the actors worked.
Places, everybody. Quiet, please. Quiet!
All right, everybody clear the stage. Quiet on the set. About to shoot.
All set. Come on. Boys, I'm rolling. Speed! Action!
Ralph Dawson won an Oscar for editing The Adventures of Robin Hood. He seamlessly assembled the cuts, giving the sequence a sense of natural action and flow.
The final touch is Erich Wolfgang Korngold's powerful score, which transformed the sequence into a polished illusion of swordplay. The Adventures of Robin Hood exemplifies Hollywood's golden age and continues to inspire filmmakers.
Absolutely. It showcases cinema's collaborative art.
Well, Craig, that's the end of our journey. Don't miss our next adventure.
Until then, keep enjoying the magic of the movies.